right, ready.
Good evening. I'd like to call the Alton Board of Selectmen's budget meeting to order, November 23rd, 2020 at 6:01 p.m. If you please all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, a moment of silence. And Mr. Whitman, if you could lead us tonight.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Gentlemen, if I could have one of you make a motion to approve the agenda as submitted.
Yeah.
Well, a minute, yeah, if you'll approve it.
Motion that we approve the agenda as read. Second.
Motion made by Mr. McDonald to approve the agenda as submitted, second by Mr. LaRochelle. Any discussion? All those in favor, I'll poll the board. Mr. McDonald?
Aye.
Mr. Whitman? Yes. Mr. LaRochelle?
Yes.
Mr. Wentworth, yes. Until further notice to keep our members and staff safe, to comply with the RSA 91-A, the state of emergency and governor's orders, restrictions on public gatherings, the town of Alton has moved from in-person meetings to remote audio participation meetings. To remotely attend the meeting, audio, video, visit our website, www.alton.nh.gov, on the day of the meeting for instructions, or telephone the Selectmen's office, 603-875-2113, or 603-875-0229. There continues to be no public input at this time. Meeting purpose, budget presentations and approvals. Highway Department, Public Works Department. This first on the agenda. For your seat, gentlemen, website and posting, Town of Alton, New Hampshire, position vacancy, Public Works Director. This would fill the, as you know, this would, if it's approved, this would fill the highway agent's position. And it is not to create a new position, it is to basically, the individual for this position would fill Mr. Roberts' position, and the highway agent would be a Public Works Director. There'd be reorganization of some departments to come underneath this department. We'd still have a foreman for the highway department, as we've had in years past. It's just that no one has been designated foreman in the last few years. Town administrators worked on a job description, and it's your recommendation for it to approve it tonight, to move forward with this. And also, 1 month of the current highway agent's current salary would be $70,660, and for 2021, with the 1.6:3% merit, it would be $8,016. That is coming in from Laura. So if we go along with this, gentlemen, and we do it as we had talked about in previous meetings, and to have the individual, whoever is the successful candidate, we'd want them in 1 month's position before Mr. Roberts leads, so Mr. Roberts can show him all the highway roads in town, the files that are on location, the budget, everything about the highway department, and be able to work with them for 1 month before Mr. Roberts leaves for his retirement. So there is a draft, 11/23/20, Town of Alton, job description, Public Works Department, Public Works Director.
Mr. Roberts is in attendance remotely. pen?
Got 3-1 in, thank you.
You're welcome. There are some things that you may want to have removed or add. Ken and I had a discussion earlier today about that possibly there may be some things that you would want out. There's some duplication of things. He was concerned about the duties as far as labor work and things of that nature for a Public Works Director. This is just a rough draft. This can be changed at any time. I took about a dozen job descriptions from all over the state and just looked at the ones that, you know, would apply and took bits and pieces and put it into our format. And same with the ad.
My only worry, it's not really a worry. They're talking about bringing smaller departments in over time. I just hope that future boards, because it's going to change, will continue with it, you know, and make sure that it happens. And, you know, I want to give a future board credit. I would think they'd have the knowledge to know what to add and what not to add. I would like to see that happening and just have to figure that future boards will see to it that it happens, you know.
'Cause I think I,
So it's not a worry. I mean, I should have confidence in future boards because the select board changes, so.
You're offering what, 70?
Well, I'm not offering him anything yet.
No. It would be approximately, what, 96,000?
72 to 96,000.
on the highway manager minimum maximum charge?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say that again?
The minimum maximum on highway managers, Pay right now is 72 or 76,000 to 92,000. My only concern with this is, and I saw that in there, the challenging aspect and see how serious the candidate would be is to implement a program where in 6 months that the grounds and building would come underneath that jurisdiction. Within 1 year, I would like to have it in there that the cemetery department comes with underneath that jurisdiction. Within 2 years, the solid waste center comes underneath that jurisdiction, and by the 3rd year, Walton Waterworks would come underneath that jurisdiction. So there's a timeline when all departments would merge underneath that one position. In the 6 months, the reason I say building and grounds, March, April, May, June, hopefully by then we'll have that consolidated, and Parks and Rec can stay with just Parks and Rec programs. When something is needed for the ball fields, they can get in touch with the Public Works Director to organize it, work orders. By next winter, that the building and grounds crew is familiarized with the highway departments, the workings of it, and that they can carry on the winter maintenance of the sidewalk underneath the jurisdiction through the highway department with the foreman there. And like I said, the following 6 months, cemetery would come underneath that during the winter, making that transitions of the files and working with the sexton at that point. And within the 2-year period that the solid waste center, by then we come underneath it. And the last thing, one of the biggest infrastructures is the water department. And with the work they've been doing down there, by then things will be up a lot more to where they should be. The smooth transition go from there. That would be my goal. In the 6 months, that will give them a little bit of a challenge to see how that successful candidate can handle the challenge during the probationary period. Yes, ma'am.
So in talking about things with the public work, the highway manager today, he mentioned some of the things that you had just said, and he felt that the grounds and maintenance should be one of the last ones to be moved over under Public Works because of the historical knowledge that Kelly has with that crew over the decades. He can probably explain that better than I can, but I'm just letting you know what he wanted you to know, and he is attending remotely.
I just feel, I guess I would have to disagree with him. I'll let him say what he has to say, but I think that would be one of the easiest departments. And the time is, to me, would be the time to do it with a fresh individual candidate in that position and not waiting. Where the solid waste center would be a lot more, water department would be a lot more, cemetery would be a year down the road.
There's something else that all of you should consider too, is if you want to wait until April when a new person is on board, and then give them some time to get used to all the different departments and get some recommendations from that person as to which one they feel. I mean, it could be right along in stride with what you're saying, but where they're going to be like at the top of the pyramid for Public Works, this person may have other thoughts or the same thoughts. We pull them into the loop,
I guess the way I was looking at it is this would be our first challenge to give the successful candidate to see how that individual could handle a directive from the Board of Selectmen to get it working, get it on board. That's the way I look at it. Is not waiting to let them choose. This is our directive. How can you handle it and move forward? That's the way I look at it. Because I want to see someone that's going to come on board running, not procrastinating and say, well, maybe we should, maybe we shouldn't. This is the directive the Board of Selectmen will give them and say, let's see if they can accomplish this within the 6 months. But that's the way I was feeling about it. I don't know how you gentlemen feel.
I'm wondering about, we have the one sentence, over a period of years, the department will experience growth for the gradual addition of other small departments added under the umbrella. I'm wondering if we shouldn't reword that to a structured, it's to be done with a structure so that the candidate realizes when they take the job, it's really going to happen.
Yeah.
So that they can't be on the job in 6 months to a year and say, well, I just can't handle that other department, or we can't do that. We should make it sound like it's structured and it's going, we're gonna be having these. So that they're fully aware of that when we hire them.
Okay, so do you
Part
have,
of the explanation.
you have some, wording, you're on the ad. So you're
Yeah.
bottom of the first paragraph on the ad, or,
I would say gradual, structured addition of other small departments. But I think structure is important, because to leave that out, and the person just might decide down the road that it's not a good idea to bring these other things in, when that was the whole idea.
or let's wait a year, or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah. Does that make sense to the rest of you?
To have a engineer, civil engineer, or a land surveyor's license?
So, under basic, on the ad, are you on the ad?
I'm on the educational training and experience.
Okay, so you're in the job description.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It says varying levels of engineering skills, knowledge, and experience is required with a registered engineer, civil engineer, and land surveyor license is preferred.
Right, and that's something that Ruben and I had talked about. So if someone has one or the other license, or neither, but has some experience in that field
Yeah, but,
with a combination, that's up to you. If you.
well, that's what I'm saying is, you want people to apply that have a license.
And,
I think that's gonna stop us a little bit.
right, and I also think if you're gonna require that sort of a, license, you're gonna need to adjust the minimum, maximum.
Big time. Big time, you're looking at 120, 130,000.
Well, I was
Well,
going by, like I say, Guilford's, that's what Guilford had in theirs when I first brought it forward. Other ones had it in, and the selectmen can always waive that requirement too during their interview process.
Yeah,
But if you're gonna have someone building roads, you want somebody with engineering experience,
Engineering experience.
which would be nice, unless we're gonna go back to having private companies do it for us.
This guy should have road experience anyways. Should have construction.
The individual, yes.
a little bit of both.
Yes. Fleet maintenance and equipment needs.
Mr. Roberts is on the phone. Would you like to hear from him, his concerns about the job qualifications?
Yes.
Yeah.
Mr. Roberts, are you there?
A loud vehicle.
Yes, I am.
Thank you, sir. If you'd like to give us your concerns or your comments on the job description and the ad, feel free to go ahead.
Well, I look at the job description, and when reading through it, you'll see there's a number of things, and I think Virgil just picked up on one, is the qualifications of the individual. I don't disagree with that, but again, Virgil mentioned it too. The high and the low for this is going to change. And then you're going to add a lot of departments to this. I don't disagree with that. I think that's a great idea. And like I said before, that's the coordination of. But what umbrella or what are you going to have for supervisors, and how do you think this structure is going to be? And I'll give you an example. You keep coming back to buildings and grounds. Who's your supervisor? Is it the public works director that's working out of an office that's creating new SOPs? I mean, it's all in this job description. SOPs, GPS or GIS, which Josh is bringing in for the town. There's an enormous amount of work here prior to even taking over another department. And the question I had, that's like saying take over the highway department and leave the foreman out. Who's the foreman for grounds and maintenance? Who's going to be the bounce-off guy from the public works director down? Are you creating a foreman's position, would be my question. And the reason I bring that up is, it's been, this individual should be in a position that starts to help this and learn this and see what the transition is going to be, where he can control it. And whether it's going through a department head that's presently there, or going through a foreman that's going to be in the highway department, or going to go through whoever the superintendent of waterworks is, and whether or not you're going to have the sextant running his own show that's working directly under the public works director. There's got to be a buffer someplace. Otherwise, you put this guy in the ground. I mean, I read one section of this, and unfortunately, I do disagree partly with this, because what you're hiring with engineering skills, and yet part of the job description is as needed, operate equipment and perform public works related duties such as snow plowing and more. And yet you're gonna, that's right, and you're asking this guy to have a license in engineering. You know, that's one thing that I did this, but again, the person that you're describing in here is beyond me. You know, really. I mean, working with GIS and the other thing is CAD is, you know, a CAD system is worked in here. Unfortunately, that's probably part of a job description that was copied, but we don't have CAD. We couldn't afford the CAD system itself. CAD system is something that designs roads electronically. We don't have that. To understand how a CAD works is basically you feed it in one end, comes out the other as a perfect road. That's the short version of it, but there's a lot to it. So I guess the question is where are you gonna place this individual? Where is his line going to be between top and bottom? Are you going to create that line where people report to him and he helps coordinate everything and be able to write? And one thing I missed in here was grant writing. I don't see anything about that unless I just missed it. But one of the things I talked about is that this guy should have some experience in obtaining grants, whether they're public works, water, grounds and maintenance, whatever it may be. I mean, we've got 2 department heads already. Both chiefs are making their own grants. This individual should be writing grants. This individual should be working on that, not plowing snow, and not being in the field down on the ground, throwing a hammer around, helping the grounds and maintenance crew.
This was one of the concerns I had last week, was micromanaging or adding more to the administration of the town and all the department heads, or do we have someone that's more capable of actually working on the field? I'm always concerned with people that are working physically on the job. Do we have enough? I don't want to just be in a position where we're adding another position of another boss over the existing department heads and micromanaging. I think we need to think about that a little bit. Said that last week, and I'm afraid that's the direction we're going. We're not helping our crew any, or our crews any, if we're just adding on another position.
Well, I talked to 4 different public works directors, and all 4 of them have said during the wintertime, they might go in at 4 o'clock in the morning just to see what's going on. Mm-hmm. I mean, they literally get out and plow. They go in to make sure to let their crew know. He knows they're out there. Mm-hmm. He's coming in to show that he can be out there, or they can be out there. He's gone in at night, sometimes stay up to 9, 10 o'clock at night. Gone down to see what the highway department's doing, making sure things are working, following through. Might give suggestions how things might get done better. That's what I read into this. Not they're going to jump in the truck and go plowing. Who knows? They might turn around and say, I want to jump in that truck today and go plowing. Okay? And if they do, you want to make sure they have a CDLA or CDLB. Right. They might just want to get in a 1-ton pickup or go with one of the guys that are plowing. 2 is, as far as, and I know, I keep getting hit over the public buildings and grounds, but it's one of the smaller departments with 3 people, 2 full-timers, 1 temporary during the summer. That's why I started with that department. That could still come underneath the work of the highway foreman, which your foreman would either run the grader or a loader. That's the way I look at it, because the grader doesn't run 24/7 during the year. During the wintertime, most of the time, the grader's parked unless they're cutting ice. There's one position there that could be the foreman, but also during the summertime, walking around, making sure the grounds are getting done. The foreman can do that, still doing their abilities, depending on which way we go with the highway department, whether we're going to stay with road reconstruction or go back to doing maintenance. As we heard last week, Mr. Roberts said, we got 2 years, we're gonna have private companies doing roads. They can go back, we need to do maintenance. Well, yes, we do need to do maintenance, because we never finished the maintenance from a year ago. But this only says, is what it can be, but not limited to, or could be more. Every job description in town of Alton always says, but not limited to, but could be more. What can be asked of an individual? And I keep saying individual, because I'm not so sure it's gonna be a man that gets this position.
No,
It could be a woman.
Could be.
But I keep hearing this guy, and it seems like some are said that it's gonna be a guy. And I hope some women put into this position, because it'd be nice to see just a different change up. I don't think I'm creating another authority position or a department head. I'm creating something, the way I'm looking at it, is reorganizing things that become more efficient within the duties of the town. And that, like I said, starting with the buildings and grounds, that's the smallest department, even though the sexton goes over the Parks and Rec during grounds and maintenance during the wintertime, they can still go underneath the hospice of the highway department, because sidewalks belong with the highway, not with buildings and grounds. Even the grounds, this individual will know about fertilizing and different things like that, possibly. Possibly they'll know about grant writing. You're right, some knowledge of grant writing should be put in here. But I think it will become more together as SOPs get handed down. Things will work more effectively. I'm not saying that they don't now, but it took a meeting here to get the highway department, water department to work on Moon Street. That would already been taken care of.
Right.
Okay? Before that even came to here that night when Courtney was telling us about it. I just feel with a 3-year plan going down the road, this gives the candidate an idea of where the selectmen expect to see them be in 3 years.
Be in 3 years.
But
And they might come to us in a year's time and say, I need more Indians. Okay? I might need some more laborers. That's fine. That's for us to look at that time and then associate that with that position. And
he might come say, I recommend.
I doubt that.
What I'm concerned with this is, I know we want, and which is, I know we want the cream of the crop, the best we can get. But the way I read this is you've got to have the engineering license or a surveyor's license.
oh, you want to put in there recommended?
No. I would put it recommended. So we
Recommended.
get
Okay.
more of the people in. You know?
Recommended?
Recommended license?
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's CDL, you know, it'd be nice to have, but, you know, because a lot of the people, they might not have them licensed, but they're damn good at their job.
What they like to see is have recommended
I'm just afraid we're.
surveyor or engineering.
Okay, you're talking a job description?
Job description.
Yeah.
Okay,
The
page 5.
CHAD and all that, yeah. So, no, on the.
On this here.
Educations and the CDL, and,
Are you on?
because I'm just afraid that the way it's worded,
Okay, but,
that you're looking at the very top tier of very few, instead of getting enough in.
okay, which page is
Page
it that
5.
you want?
Let's go to page 5.
All right,
It's on a different one.
Let's go down to paragraph 2, education, training, experience. Varying level of engineering skill, knowledge, and experience is required with a registered professional engineer,
yep.
civil engineer, and/or land surveyor license preferred.
Mhm.
Let's put, is prefer or is recommended.
Yeah, there you go.
Preferred, Virgil Fields is stating it, if you don't have it, don't apply.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, all right.
Ability to read and understand road construction plans and blueprints absolutely required. Participation in attainment of Master Road Scholar in the University of New Hampshire's Technology Transfer Center's Road Scholar program is expected. CDL driver's license recommended. Recommended preferred to me is one of the same, but you're reading it differently, and that's fine. Is that what you wanted, recommended?
Yep.
Okay,
Maintain membership.
Instead of preferred, recommended?
Recommended. Minimum bachelor's degree in engineering, business management, or public administration, or graduation from a college or university with major study engineering or public administration. Are you gentlemen agreeable to that one?
now don't forget, if they do not have that, if you look at the next 2 bullet items down, any equivalent combination of education and experience which demonstrates possession of the required knowledge, skills, and abilities. So that kind of covers that a little bit.
Could you do with minimum bachelor's degree or any equivalent combination? Could you marry those two together, those two paragraphs together, those two lines together and saying, or the equivalent of?
I can, but I want to make sure that there's a last bullet item that could pertain to anything else in that whole paragraph. So yeah, I can work on that.
Okay. And then one other spot, knowledge of grant writing.
Yeah, definitely.
So that would go, all right, wait a minute. Okay.
Knowledge and abilities and skills, I would say.
I guess pretty good at that. She's got quite a bit of
Knowledge, ability, and skills for grant writing.
Is that ability to read and write and speak English?
No, I was looking at that too and laughing.
Wow. Tell me you aren't,
Be surprised.
tell me you aren't from a small town.
But let me ask you something.
Be
No, I
surprised.
understand.
That being discriminatory.
Nope, no.
No, because you have to have that to be able to work with everybody we have here.
You can be a foreigner and speak English. You just have to have that ability to speak. I thought the same thing.
You do have to provide reasonable accommodation, though.
Yeah, by what?
Reasonable accommodation for things like that.
Can you put that into where it says ability to plan for municipal needs?
Okay, where are you?
I'm on page 4, I'm sorry.
Okay. Page 4, which,
Well, you're talking about knowledge, abilities, and skills, such as grant writing.
yep,
Are you just gonna make another bulletin on that
yeah,
one? Okay.
yep. I've got that on the second page. I thought that was in here.
Really like to get the grants.
And the other thing, gentlemen, we might have to realize is to get the candidate that the town wants, we might have to increase that line. We've done that before.
You have the right candidate.
Yeah. So, or you might have to work off of the wage step increase and not start at the low end, you end up closer to the higher end to get the candidate that you want.
And sometimes it's worth doing that if we get the right person in and everything transitions smoothly like that.
And as Mr. Roberts stated that, with the Parks and Rec Director, having the knowledge of the cemetery and the buildings ground, this also gives that gentleman 6 months to work with that individual, to try to figure out. And then that individual might come back and say, gentlemen, 6 months wasn't enough. But by December, I'll have it done. So it might need 2 more months, because October will be the 6 months. Or because I need a little bit more time, but the sidewalks and everything will come underneath my jurisdiction during the wintertime, but come springtime, the grounds I will have underneath my jurisdiction, underneath my belt. I'd have no problem with that. And we might hear from it, and the year down the road, I can't see why the cemetery wouldn't be done by then. But 2 years, it might say, I need a little more time to go back and study the reports of New Hampshire DES on the groundwater control at the landfill center and how things were done in the past before I'm comfortable taking it all over within a year. I want a year and a half.
I think that would be for all departments, really.
It would be for all departments, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying that could come down. But as long as that they had a plan of saying, this is when I plan on instituting, that would be fine. But I would like to set a goal out front first to see if they can hit those target dates, that's all. Because then that gives us a little bit to watch for, and then watch that individual, see how they're coming, and reports from you.
Yeah.
I got a question for you, Liz.
Yeah.
Implementation of town personnel.
What page?
On 2.
Are you on the ad?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why wouldn't that go through HR? Personnel policy, wouldn't it? That would still stay with HR.
Okay, say that again?
Implementing personnel policy. Person at the top would have to make sure that those departments are following the personnel policy.
You're on page 2, which number?
27. No, 28.
Oversee the implementation of the, so a lot of these changes, when there's a change in the personnel policy that's approved, it is sent out to all the departments, and the department heads then make the copies and distribute them to the employees with instructions from HR. It may be like you need to sign for this or whatever, there's an explanation and so on and so forth. You listening to that, are you hearing that? Yeah, it's like a feedback or something. I think it's bouncing off of Ken.
Okay. Didn't know if there was another conversation in there.
Sounded like a mouse.
No, I can hear some explosive words.
Oh, I missed that. That was-
Any other concerns, questions, or comments, gentlemen?
Ken, it sounded like Ken was worried about who in each of these departments as they come in he'd be dealing with. I mean, grounds and maintenance, under Kelly, I'm sure she has one person in grounds and maintenance that she relies on and is somebody that's knows more about what they're doing. That would be the person that this person would work with, I would think.
Well, work with, but
Just like,
my hopes is that it comes underneath the hospice of the highway department. Yes. So whoever the foreman, or the candidate of the foreman would be in that position, the highway department, they will oversee that. The foreman would then answer to the public works director. Anything, any other changes or that you would like to see? Mr. LaRochelle, or you want me, Pat, for you right now while you're sitting?
No, I'm just thinking about the whole, job description, just going over the whole thing. And am I the only one here that thinks that this is major for one person? I know it's done in other municipalities.
It's
It's
excessive.
in other municipalities, and it's done properly, and it's done successfully. It just seems overkill to me. It's overwhelming to me, to be honest with you, how much responsibility you're putting on one person. I can't see it. I don't know. I can agree with it if for 5,500 people, we need that.
At this time, the way things are changing, I feel we do.
And don't forget, it's 22,000 in the.
I like the idea, Ruben. I just think the requirements and qualifications for this person, I think it's gonna take time to get this person. And what if we hire somebody, and 6 months down the road, he's not even close to, or she, not even close to what we wanted? I'm a little leery. I think we may be putting the cart before the horse. We're jumping into it real quick. I don't know, it's just a gut feeling that is it something we really need to do. I even had this a while back, a conversation that do we really have the time to do this year? Or should we just be replacing our department head in the highway department? I think it's a good idea. I think this whole program is a good idea. I see a lot of requirements here, a lot of things to do for one person. And we gotta rely on that person getting along with all the department heads, working with the department heads, and then reporting to the town administrator and then the selectmen. So if I have that correct. And on every major issue, on major reconstruction or large job, that's a lot to do. I know towns do it, other municipalities do it, but do we need it now? Just a thought, and I'm not saying I'm against it. I'm just saying, to me, it needs some thought. I like the way it's written. When I start reading the requirements for this one person and all the things that this person has to do, I think it's gonna increase the salary immensely.
One step under what your town administrator has to do with their qualifications.
Hmm?
One step under town administrator, that's the way I look at it.
Right. So we have the selectman, we have the town administrator doing your job, which is to contact and keep in contact and run smoothly all the department heads. On a day-to-day basis, that's your responsibility. Yeah. Isn't that also his or hers responsibility?
Just,
Same thing.
just a few.
Every
Not every-
department head manages their own department.
Of course.
So this
But this is gonna be,
would be multiple departments.
right, this is also foreseeing everyone and helping to run each department, making suggestions with each department head, and then working with you as well. And then the select,
Reporting to her.
reporting to you. But that's pretty much what you do. Correct?
If the department
She
reports
reports
to
to
us with that position, with her.
Yeah, they report to her, she reports to us.
Right.
If
So-
you have good department heads,
Mhm.
which you do,
Yes, we do.
and then you have a public works director that has a department, public works department, with some extra divisions added into it over a period of few years, it's not really a lot of change. The thing that, you
But it's
know,
another position.
No,
no. It's taking the place of the highway manager.
It is. It is.
At least that's my understanding of what the board wanted.
yes.
That's what my understanding was, to
Yep.
replace the department head of the highway department.
Now, don't forget, you still have, in the highway department right now, there are 2 people who are quasi crew chiefs.
Right.
Okay.
That's my point.
There's two, almost like 2 different, there's road reconstruction, there's road maintenance, and
Okay.
so, but, I mean, I'm not arguing the point, I'm just, whatever the
No,
board,
I think, am I making my point? Are you understanding what I'm saying?
I am, but
That I feel as though it's almost putting another person in the same position as the town administrator.
I don't see it that way at all.
You don't see it that way?
I'm thinking that
Okay.
over time, it should make all the departments work more efficiently.
Over time.
That,
More efficiently
Over time.
and more cost savings to the town.
That's what I'm concerned with, the cost savings, and I know the time period to go over. It just seems like a lot of responsibility on this one person, and it's a lot of trust in our part to be able to say, okay, I want you to be able to have all these qualifications, after we interview you, be able to do all these things, and help each department head and work with the town administrator.
It won't be so much each department head.
Why?
The highway department will have a highway foreman. That's it. The waterworks will still have your superintendent, the solid waste center, you will have that department head, if you want to call it, the solid waste director there. They will answer solely to this individual.
Right.
This individual
I get
will
that.
make sure their costs and their budgets are staying within line.
Mhm.
That individual, when it comes to budget representation, will get their numbers from those folks there. They'll provide a budget to us. We'll meet with the public works director and go over that budget, not each and every individual department head. So there could be some cost savings in that, because I think right now we have some overlapping, which costs
Yes.
us down some money. Individual will primarily report to the town administrator.
Yep.
Town administrator will report to us there.
just like with all the others.
Just like all the others.
Yeah.
But we're narrowing it down to one person. So there's a better communication flow from out there to her office to us.
So in our meetings then, once we reopen and we have, presence of our we won't have the department heads here anymore.
We won't.
It would strictly be the public works director.
Public works director,
Who would
unless
represent each and every one of the other departments. Am I right?
they needed the superintendent of the waterworks to come in, or the solid waste center person to come in with them to justify why this program or this project has to be done this way. This person would also conduct how that project will be run, oversee the project, because there's a lot of times, we do projects in the town, we don't have supervision on it.
Correct.
They just happen, we don't have supervision.
And there should be supervision.
And I'm not saying anything's being done underhanded, but you can't verify that it hasn't been because we don't have verification of it. And prime example, I can say, one weekend, there was a roof done in the bay. This is quite a few years ago, about 5 years ago. On a Saturday, on a holiday weekend, crews show up to do the bay fire station. Not a representative from the town to make sure the job was done to specs. Roof was stripped, the shingles were put on, they were gone.
What we did West Alton Community Center, it was stripped, shingles put on and gone.
And that's what I mean, there was nobody there to supervise to make sure.
Or to inspect it, to make sure it was done correctly.
When the state does a job, what do they have? When they have somebody on the roadway doing the job and there's a private contractor there, there's normally a state individual in that trailer and going out and making sure the plans are done and followed accurately, checking the asphalt that's being laid down, make sure it's at temperature and everything else. We don't do that. This would be up to that individual making sure these things are being done. There's a project going on, such as a roof, such as a septic system, such as culverts or trees being taken down. They're down there watching the job, or someone's down there, keeping the best interest of the town at heart.
What you're saying is, and we can't put stuff out to bid because you can't trust the contractors.
I'm not saying you can't trust the contractors, but even at my own house, I make sure that someone's there when they're working, make sure the job's being done. If not, when I get home, the job's not done right, you're not getting paid.
Or at least stopping in periodically, right?
Right.
Well, yeah, periodic, depending on what is being done.
Right, right.
Town has always done that. They start a project, they sit there for a little bit, and they walk away, and all of a sudden, phones start ringing on the hook. Why is it being done this way? Well, let's go back. Well, things weren't done according to the plan. Why not?
Mhm.
He ain't gonna be able to say you're doing the community house roof. He's not gonna be able to sit there and watch the whole job.
Nobody's gonna stop in from each day and make sure the job's being followed through the way
If
it's
it's done correctly, yes.
That's what
Right
you
now,
gotta,
each and every part.
that's what you got a code enforcement for.
Code enforcement is out inspecting the building permits every day.
I just wanted to bring it out, so that I understand it, anyone listening understands what we're doing, how, what the Public Works Director is gonna do. I just want to kind of go over it, that's all, and bring it out.
This is
I don't disagree with it, I just want to make sure we're doing the right thing.
This is my 4th year working on it.
Hmm?
And I've watched it start, I've watched it evolve, I watched it go back and forth, back and forth. With Mr. Roberts retiring, I felt this was the opportunity time to do it. Before you fill the position of highway agent again, or highway manager again, then you gotta wait another 20 years to institute a public works department.
If I may, Mr. Chair?
Yes, sir.
The only thing I would add to this is, I kind of agree with Paul in a way, is that you got to understand the next 2 years you're going to do maintenance. You have 2 years to implement this public works director. So that would be entirely up to you of how you want to approach that. If you made a foreman at the highway department, all you're doing is dealing with maintenance for the next couple of years. And then if you felt that more work had to be done on this or more interviews had to be done, you wouldn't be under a time constraint to get this out, advertised, and then pick a candidate that you may not be exactly happy with. And then you might have a problem with money. So if you have to vary that back and forth, you would be able to look at it that way. I mean, I understand, Paul, this is a lot to swallow. Just what's in this description, not adding anything else to it. So you may not get any candidates on this. I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
Paul, when you were talking, I thought you were talking more about page 4 and page 5, the knowledge, abilities, and skills, and the education, training, and experience. That's what I thought you were talking about, not about the actual, like on page 2, all the numbers and.
Right, no, mostly, like you said, 4 and 5. There's a lot there.
There is.
There's a lot there to me, it's just a lot for one person. To me, it's overwhelming when you read it and you look at it, but the responsibilities for one person, that's all.
If nobody.
But for somebody that has that knowledge, it may not be.
I read through it about 3 times going.
I'm going through it, and I said, this guy has to know everything.
If nobody applies for it.
Oh, lady.
We know it's too much.
Right, I mean, well, let's put it out there.
Yeah.
See
what happens.
You're just receiving this tonight, so
Yeah.
if you wanna.
We're still tweaking it.
Yeah.
Still tweaking it a little bit.
Still a draft, this could, maybe you'd want some things removed or.
It's worth a shot. It's worth putting it out. It's worth putting it out and see what happens, but don't expect too much.
No.
We were supposed to continue with meetings every Monday night.
Right,
It was
until all the
fifth Monday.
budgets were done. And
Budgets were done.
tonight-
They should be the night to be done.
so tonight would be the last budget night, yeah.
So,
I
do you
won't
want to
be-
meet next week on this, gentlemen? Well, no. Can you
here
meet,
next
no,
week.
you won't be here next week, right?
I think we can settle this tonight.
Without, to see what we get.
I just wanted to ask you, because right now it's Monday night, I know Liz is out on Wednesday, correct?
Tomorrow's my last
That
day,
was your last day for the week.
and then I'll be out for the rest of this week, all of next week, and I don't know about the week after.
Yeah, I think that the quicker we get this out, I mean, we're going into December.
No. What would you like to see on the job description change, just what we had talked about, and then also in the job requirements?
Just what we talked about.
Yeah, we've all made our suggestions, so.
I just wanted it to be duly noted that I have a concern.
Nope, and that's true.
And
I
you
mean, we found that out 4 years ago. We hired upstairs, it didn't work out for us a year later, and we got an individual in now that has done an outstanding job.
Outstanding, yes.
Yep. So, you never know when it comes to these positions.
All we can do is try.
So I would like to see it go out to ad.
Okay.
You need a motion on that, ma'am?
No, that's all right, consensus is okay.
Okay,
I would like to see it go out.
Let's give it a try.
it is going out.
Now, before you do that, though, on the ad, on the first page, well, the first posting,
It's wrapped in my bed.
I know, it sounds like a wicked storm out there. The wage range,
And it blows right down my shirt.
fourth paragraph down, I
Yes, ma'am.
left it blank.
The amount.
Didn't know if you wanted to just use the minimum maximum for the highway manager, or adjust that a little bit.
I think we should put,
I think we ought to start with that.
pay,
Yeah.
pay commences with experience or something. The more experience, I mean, somebody comes in and they got what this thing reads, we're gonna have to pay them.
Oh, definitely.
I mean-
Oh, definitely.
So I think it would commence with what experience they come in with.
So there are ads,
Decision.
yeah, there are some ads that you would see that instead of a range,
Yeah.
it just says, pay commensurate with the, education.
Yeah, because I just think it would, I think, I'm trying to get the most umbrella we can get.
The Public Works Director really, the minimum and maximum that we have is not sufficient,
Close.
at least the minimum part.
The minimum, I might agree.
The maximum could be the new minimum.
No, I wouldn't go quite that far.
Okay.
Get an engineering degree,
So-
coming in at 100.
So, all right, so I'll get rid of the range and then put, the other thing that we just talked about.
Who worked with experience. Okay, all set with that, gentlemen? All set with that, town administrator?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah.
Move on to B, water department.
I skipped that one for now, because you
Oh.
can't do them.
Yes, we have to do benefits first. Administration,
So,
so I can't give you my comment on that one, but that's all right.
So, you've already approved the administration department with the exception of line item 111, dues and fees. And we were waiting for the New Hampshire Municipal Association annual dues.
Yes, ma'am.
And they came in, and so you have received at your seat tonight an updated page 3 of the justification sheet, which shows the dues and fees for the New Hampshire Municipal Association as being $8,071. And you also received a copy of
That thing,
the letter. What?
$8,000?
Well, yeah, it actually went down. It
Went down.
decreased slightly.
Went down by 300 and...
Where is that, Liz?
$17.
The new page, you should have a new packet.
It's
That's
not,
on your desk.
yeah, it was on your desk. It was clipped together.
Oh, okay.
Right there,
In it,
yeah. Paper clip on it and about
Oh.
3 pages.
on the benefits?
No,
That's what I had.
so,
Oh, this is benefit buyout.
It's everything, it's everything.
It's in there.
Paul. It's all
It's in there.
Yeah, it's in it's in that benefit thing, it's in the back, yeah.
Yes.
See it right there, that's it.
Second page.
Got it. Thank you, sorry.
so you'll see down at the bottom of the justification sheet, line 111, 4130-111, with the breakdown.
Might be nice if we give us a decrease of $17 for 2021. Does this go for how much you use it?
Oh, so
How do they make up this due?
you cannot do without these dues. If you are not a member of the New Hampshire Municipal Association, you cannot use their training, you cannot get any of the insurances, you cannot use their legal services, you can't go to any, out of everything.
What are we paying a lawyer for anyways?
Second opinions on the municipal association.
Do without it.
They do not, well, I disagree with you on that one. They're also basically paid lobbyists for the towns and the communities.
They do a lot.
They did have their problems a few years ago.
So are you
They got to be a
getting
big conglomerate when they had their health.
384259? Okay. So the new amount for that budget would be 384259. That would be the new grand total on the administration budget. That includes all of the,
384.
yep,
4259,
yep,
which was 375948.
yep.
Just adding that one section of the 8,000.
8,071.
Well, and a couple of other things.
311, that whole line.
The bottom
Okay,
line.
oh, 8,300.
Yep.
Well, we will after tonight.
Well, usually we had them write in the book the whole thing, and then we just deduct as we go.
Well, you had your ones that they started with, but you haven't given you the selectmen's recommended budget because we haven't finished it.
No, usually in the book, we have a page at the end that has the whole budget in it, that we can deduct. As we deduct out of budgets, we have it, there's a page, it's in
We haven't
every,
had one in the 4 years I've been here.
they're always in there.
Are you talking about the binders at town meeting, the deliberative session?
Oh, we have them right in the books. I'll bring one in, because I just looked in the book I had at the house.
Okay.
It has the total budget,
Yep.
what it was last year, what it is this year, and then we deduct off that when we're doing the budgets.
Okay.
I hadn't seen that.
I'd just like
I've
to
asked
see,
for a couple of times, so I'd have to be able to do that.
I'd just like to see the percentage that the overall budget goes up.
Well, we will, once we get through the final departments. Laura will give us a full booklet, a full packet, like we get every monthly report, showing what the budget will be. Then it's up to you folks if you agree with that full bottom line or unless you want to do something different.
Okay.
That's the only way we can do it because we don't know what the totals are yet.
Right.
That's why I say we deducted it out of that bottom line, right, as we're doing them, so we
But
always
you
have.
don't have a bottom line, Burge.
But you start with a bottom line, what they're all asking for. That gives you your bottom line, and then as we deduct cut budgets, we take it off that bottom line, so we know where we're setting at all times with this book.
I've never seen that, to be honest with you.
Every year.
Okay. So gentlemen, is it the pleasure of the board? I need a motion to approve the administration budget of $384,259. $18,000, roughly. If I'm not mistaken, there
Roughly
was
3%.
something be 36. 5% would be 18. So just under.
Was it an $18,000 increase?
Mm-hmm, 17,709.
Just under 5%.
But it ain't,
0.8.
not really,
4.8.
because we've already deducted $1,500 out of your budget.
Yep, you, reduced your pay, reduced the, postage.
Do I have a second on that, gentlemen? Or is someone gonna make the motion? Seeing that it failed, I had no second, so the motion failed. So, gentlemen, I need a motion to approve administration budget. Yes. Yes, I did make the motion.
Whisper it to Liz or something?
Oh, no, he was
You
very.
made the motion, nobody seconded.
He was
I
very
didn't even hear it.
I never heard the motion either.
I think he's setting us up. You add 100,000?
No. Gentlemen, do one of you
Try it
care?
again.
One of you care to make a motion of $384,259 administration budget for the year 2021?
Oh, come on.
Second. 384, would you come up with 384?
$384,259.
All right.
Moving on.
Motion made by Reuben Wentworth to approve the administration budget for 2021 of $384,259, second by Virgil McDonald. Any discussion? I'll poll the board. Mr. Rochelle?
Yes.
Mr. Whitman?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mr. Wentworth, yes. Votes affirmative.
I've been a little cut, but it doesn't matter, it's a cut.
All right, gentlemen, moving on to benefits. As you know, Laura's got in front of your desk tonight. She redid the health insurance. It's sitting in front of you. With the changes, with the increased cost. I don't know if you've had a chance to look at it, but while you do, I am gonna put my 2 cents worth in. Never stopped me before, so. I am gonna ask that the Board of Selectmen take it on the chin, and we stay status quo this year with the health insurance, starting January 1st, 2021. Start reviewing the insurance policies, the employee contribution, the employer contribution. We sit down and meet with the department heads, and only the department heads. We sit down amongst us first to discuss how the board wants to proceed with insurances first, and once we have done that, I suggest we sit down with department heads, explain to them what we're looking at, where we're going, and hear their concerns. And by July of next year, we have this done, so we can give it to Liz and Laura to set forth in a personnel policy, and then we can go out and start looking for health insurance. I know the open enrollment period is from October till November to
Early December.
early December, but this gives us plenty of time. We get it done right. We take in consideration of what our employees have now. We look at possibly a 3-year plan instituting it, where the employees possibly will contribute more. I think it's only time that this happens now, that the employees need to contribute more or take over the deductibles in full, but not make any more payments. I have some ideas, but I don't want to go too far with it until we go into January. But being this late in the season, where the enrollment is changing, and where the employees only have so much time to change what they want to change, I think at this time it's only prudent that we take it on the chin this year. Hopefully COVID will relax come January 15th. The governor thinks it's gonna, because we don't have to wear masks. That we start working on this due diligently towards the employees and towards the taxpayers.
Do it. It's gonna be on the agenda.
Well,
We've been trying before.
I will tell you what I spoke to Liz about last
It's a
week.
hard thing. to
Inundate the Board of Selectmen with these things that we said did not get done when we did the reevaluation of the town administrator. It's not that she did not follow through with them, it's just with everything in COVID today, just like Laura, there's probably things she couldn't get done this year because she's filling out Gopher funds all the time.
Yes, they put, a lot of stuff had to get put on back burner.
Put on hold, but I did say, come 1st of January, and you can ask her, inundate the board with all these things.
Well, I think this is important, and we've been talking about it long enough that I think we should look into it and
I had told department head today where I stood on my position for this year. Am I happy about it? No. But I think it's time that we do it. The Board of Selectmen talk about what they want to do. Come the first of the year, we get the holidays behind us. We get the budget behind us. We let the budget committee have it. The only thing we'll have left is the warrant articles to get approved. And then the rest falls on to the budget committee getting their budget done, and the hearings done. We need to get started on it early in the year so we all know we're all on the same page. And if you want to call it negotiation between the departments, call it negotiation. But they are also looking out for their own employee, their departments.
Oh, absolutely.
Which I respect them for. Some folks out there in the town might not feel that way. But there's several different programs I've looked at that I would like to bring up as options for the employees and the town. But I did say, let's get to Davis with all these things that need to get done that we've asked. And that means we're gonna sit here for 3 hours to accomplish things. Some meetings, we're gonna have to. But by June and July, Liz and Laura will know how to formulate the personnel policy. Because they are ready with some, it's my understanding now, and they just have not brought it to us because we've been trying to keep our meetings short.
It's a budget season too, it's just.
Right, exactly.
Okay?
And the internal investigation, a whole bunch of things, you know, that happen.
So this time, gentlemen, I need you to approve the benefit.
Did you have any questions? I'm gonna.
Yep, I have my whole thing right here, but I agree that they should be working on it off-season. I totally agree with that. When it's not crunch time and you're looking for a number, it makes no sense.
So with that being said, so then, okay.
We're looking at $791,792.57.
Yeah,
Oh, I thought that's what you gave me, 20 current plan with increased premiums.
So I gave you new papers tonight though, because I took water out, so we would have
Just
that.
got way too many things in there for me.
So if we're not changing anything, going with the current health trust plan that would be the orange one on the current plan paper.
753,
753, right, yeah.
268
That is for your benefit thing. So
for
that's-
town employees, excluding water department, correct?
Right, water's down here, yep. And then you have, that's your medical, so you have to add your dental to that, which will be this one here. Which was no change, so you're gonna have to do the 50,803.99 and the. So we're gonna do 753, 268.23, and the 50,803.99. Okay, so your line 833 would be 804,072 dollars.
804,000.
And $72 would be that one line.
I don't have the BMSI sheet.
That would be the one line, that would be the orange
I
line.
was never given that.
You weren't here for that night?
That don't,
Do you have a new sheet for the benefits?
How do you all not have it and I have it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
You might have given it to us with a bunch of paperwork. in it.
Oh, because we never finished it.
Right.
We never
Because
finished.
there are other line items on there that,
water, the 804.
No,
That's with water.
that's gonna, no, we have to wait till she comes back now.
804 would be with the dental?
Because water's insurance benefits go in their own department,
in their own budget.
in their own budget.
Yeah.
If we check, make sure we can. Guy we're hiring. Do water where that's a separate entity.
It'd be no different though than her being the town administrator and Courtney having the license.
So see, the voters voted to dissolve the commission. That means it's no longer a separate, it has a separate enterprise fund and state law requirements.
Right, but I was
But it's you
wondering,
guys.
because that fund is paid by the taxpayers that use that.
The ratepayers,
Right,
the ratepayers.
that's why I'm wondering if we're okay doing that or not, where that's paid separately.
The ratepayers pay for that department.
Right.
But he's,
Yeah, yeah, Okay.
and that conflict, water user fees with taxpayer fees, directing the water superintendent. But
I don't really,
It's typical, we're selectmen and we're kind of the trustees of it. Now we're putting a town employee ahead of water.
well, we never took the money from the water commissioners, put it in our salary.
Right.
No, we took over that responsibility.
Right.
That's not supposed to change.
I think, I guess, Selectmen that,
I'll ask her, we'll get her to ask Jim.
884.
Okay, so that's the same?
The staff.
But it's no different than when we just use the highway department. to dig up water.
Yep, the retirees, I have that number somewhere, because I've done all.
That's just kind of what you're doing. Courtney will have somebody go to and say, I need this, this.
oh, yeah, I think it's a great idea, but I think, I just want to make sure.
Double check. Yep. Are those, so what is your bottom line there, ma'am? Do we have that?
I don't have one yet.
Okay.
Now, we're prepared. 6.2.
So if you look at line 839,
Mm-hmm.
that'll be level funded at $1. You might want to pencil that in.
Okay,
And then and she's checking on line 840.
okay. I was
And
just
then-
asking that.
Line 882 will be level funded at 1,000.
Okay.
And then line 884 will be level funded at 5545.
So we just need to see the,
Why are we
840.
leaving merit pay at $1?
Line 8, to keep the line open,
For what?
just in case, you never know.
We put merit pay through your office, didn't we?
Put it in each individual office. If you want to change it to a 0, that's fine. But,
Say, all through the budget, it's, oh, well, we'll keep it open just in case. Just
yeah,
get rid of them.
yeah, that's fine. I actually don't know how it got in there last year for $1, because the year before it was at 0.
Okay, so your fire retirees,
Mhm.
it's $17,896.
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
$17,896. You're taking that dollar out?
I don't know if they're doing that or not.
Leave it in there for tonight. What's $1 after you?
I just leave it.
Yeah.
Just leave it.
Staff recruiting, you're keeping at 1,000,
Yeah.
and the fire is 5545. Okay, let's get you a number.
Total is?
Did you say fire was 55?
Line 884, it's fire disability insurance. That'll be level funded.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I got $1,700,234. And my fingers did it right. Hopefully up 10%. Well, not quite 10%.
What did you get?
$1,700,234.
I have $1,732,014.
$1,000,000.
$732,014.
Okay.
I can add it again, just
Well, my fingers might have just gotten carried away too.
see what was good.
That's why I had to ask you that number again.
Well, I need a new calculator.
I got the same thing. Do you want to add mine?
No, that's all right.
I got the same thing twice, so I'm pretty confident with that number.
So what was your total?
So my total is $1,732,014 for the benefit budget.
You don't give them away, do we?
Yeah, see, you had $1,732,014.
See, we don't even have our justification sheets because
No,
we didn't know.
you haven't given us anything.
Right, right.
Because now you're missing the 30,000 and all that.
What do you mean, the 30,000?
30,000 for the HRA that you would normally do.
Which line is that in?
That's for the deductible.
That's part of your health and dental line.
Gonna add another 30,000?
All right, then ladies,
Yeah, plus your vacancies.
then ladies,
That's all broken
at,
out in
at
our-
this point, I would table this till Monday night.
Yeah. Let you get it worked in.
Yeah.
Because you're running back and forth to the office too much, and numbers are starting to jingle.
That's fine.
So if we could have full justification sheets and everything. With that.
Yeah, because let's get it right.
All right, so water and
So,
benefits will have to be put off till next week.
right, and you still need
The
to,
water you can do. Because we have those numbers.
We're going to water next.
We got a couple lines in there that you need. You've done most of that already. Right?
yep,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just waiting on the insurance.
Okay, so water, you're missing,
So health would be
so their health,
38,524.
what you gotta add, is their dental separate?
So dental is separate.
Okay, yep, so their health is 38,524. Wait,
Say that again, please.
38,524.
which line item is that?
That's going to be.
040.
040, yes.
Okay, what was that amount?
38,524. And then their dental would be here, 2,150.
Water, life, and disability.
2,150,
Yeah, is their dental.
that's line 041.
Yeah. Their life and disability will be $573.
About, workman's comp.
Workman's comp, where are you down here? You gotta go back up.
277.
277.
77.
Yeah.
Line two.
That's gonna be $5,643.
And water, property, liability, insurance.
It's $2,747.
Okay.
And then you should have an empty spot up top with a retirement, because I had to wait for the rates to come in.
Which line item is that?
That is 045.
Okay, I had 18,000 in there.
Me too.
You should, because the rates changed July 1st of this
We
coming
had
year.
18,000 in there though.
18,397.
Yeah, it should be 22,757. Because the rates change in the middle of the year this year.
757.
Which they always do, July 1st.
And you have a new bottom line. Am I impatient? I'm
We had already reported that
We
one.
already had, what, 70?
So 421, 045, which you already had.
Hmm?
Okay, your new bottom line for water should be 493,439.
All right, again, 4.
493,439.
$1,000 less than last year, gentlemen.
Well, you gotta remember, we added 50,000 in last year. For the water mains and stuff.
I'm just telling you, it's $1,000 off from last year.
Less, $1,000 less.
Yeah.
And that was with, according to the section there earlier, but we didn't have the health insurance then, which we knew to go over that, but it didn't.
Part-time and overtime decreased.
So gentlemen, can I have a motion to approve the Alton Water Department's budget of $493,439 for 2021?
So move.
Motion made by Mr. Wentworth to approve the Alton Water Works budget, $493,439, second by Paul Rochelle. Any discussion? I'll poll the board. Mr. McDonald?
Yes.
Mr. Rochelle?
Yes.
Mr. Whitman?
Yes.
Mr. Wentworth, yes. Vote is the affirmative. So Monday night, gentlemen, we will be going over then the benefits again. So they'll have all the numbers and everything, with new justification pages and everything. And, Liz will not be here, so we'll have Laura present that to us. Are you
you.
available Monday night?
I'll be
So
here.
that'll strictly be a budget meeting.
We don't really have anything else on the agenda that night, and with the town administrator being out, I'd rather not, so she doesn't have to get caught up, because she's gonna be out for a week, possible. Right?
Definitely a week,
Yeah.
maybe more. The highway department, did you want to make a motion to amend that bottom line to add in that extra month's worth of salary?
Yes.
Okay. I also want to bring up something else.
Well, you had your chance early in the meeting, ma'am, when I asked you about the agenda.
No, this has to do with the benefits budget. Actually, it doesn't even have to do with.
I'm
the
just
benefits.
kidding you.
Okay.
Let me get that piece of paper that was out here earlier. Do you have another one? Oh, thank you. Yep. Gentlemen, I need a motion to amend the highway department's budget
One.
in the amount of $8,016. So it'd be $1,358,000.
I have to pull that.
$35.
$35.
What is it? What?
$1,358,035.
And you're putting that into the first line, right?
First line, salaries, yes. Highway wages,
691,127.
to amend line item 010.
410?
010.
Go ahead into that, for that line.
$8,016.
Salary.
One salary.
So that'll be 699,143. For that one, okay.
The first line, 010.
Yes.
Oh, 10, I thought you said 4, sorry.
Oh,
I thought you said 4.
that's what I thought at the beginning.
So that line item would be, like Liz just said, $699,140.
Add $8,016 to it, for your first line.
Sorry, can I please have that first line again?
First line is 010.
Yep.
So our recommended budget, if it passes, would be $699,143.
143. Okay, thank you.
So your bottom line now would be, as I stated earlier, $1,358,035. So if I have a motion to amend that with a new bottom line for the 2021 budget, that would be great, gentlemen.
Motion to amend the 2021 Highway Department budget, to read $1,358,035.
Do I have a second? I'll second it for discussion. Discussion.
I think this is one of the big budgets that we gotta look seriously on, cutting it back a little.
Okay? Mr. Whitman?
I'll go with it for now. I'm still looking at the
I have a
final
scarf.
budget.
Any further discussion? I'll poll the board. Mr. Rochelle?
Yes.
Mr. Whitman?
Yes.
Mr. McDonald? Mr. Wentworth? Yes. Vote is in the affirmative. All right, so gentlemen, we will not have a bottom line budget for our next meeting, since we have to wait for Laura to give us all the numbers in line. And then the following first meeting of December, I'd like to have a full budget though, where our recommended budget is, if we could, in form. Just list all the departments in one paper, on one page if you could, with the bottom line, so the selectmen can see what the bottom line would be compared to last year.
That'd be very helpful.
Yes.
Before we totally submit everything to the budget committee for our final approval.
You want percentages too on?
Yes,
the budget?
I'd like to have everything crossed out. It's gonna make, percentages are very misleading at times.
They
I'd
are.
rather see the dollar amount, We've seen the percentages misleading over this whole COVID thing over the months.
Yep.
So, I don't like percentages, a lot of times, especially when they're small numbers and it shows real big increases on percentage. But if we could have that at the first meeting in December, along with our regular agenda item, the selectmen can look at it. The second week, budget, they can go back and tear it apart if they want.
That's December 7th.
It's all right with you, gentlemen?
Yes.
Okay. And don't forget, these ladies will be cracking the whip on us come the first of the year.
We have a couple more questions for you. I'm smiling, you just can't see it.
Did you see my eyes roll?
Yes.
Okay.
So the HRA plan that you have, that I manage, do you want Health Trust to manage that plan? So basically it goes directly to the employee through Health Trust, and there's no submitting the EOBs here and all that.
You should be saying yes to this.
Well, I said that before. The finance office should not have to deal with deductibles to the employees and questions. It should be going to the insurance companies first, and then from if the employee cannot work it out with the insurance company, then HR should step in, I feel. Agree with that?
Yeah, and you're keeping the deductible the way it is, the HRA plan?
Until we change the policy, status quo.
Okay, because it's no cost to you to have Health Trust to take care of your HRA. It's not an additional cost. It's just something they.
I think they should.
Where they deny it.
Nope, it's however we set it up. So you're saying that the deductible, so it's like if it's a copay, they're not gonna get that back. But as of right now, the employee's getting that back because I don't know whether it's a deductible or a copay, because I don't get that information. So it's actually gonna be saving you money, I think, in the long run.
Well, then that's a change of policy, which we should not do, because we just said we'll stay status quo.
No, but your thing says you will pay HRA on the deductible, but I don't know what that is on them forms. It does not come to me saying that this amount is deductible or this amount is your employee's copay. It doesn't say that. So it's not changing your policy, it's just changing who knows what the information is in the back.
So you could be just paying them back when it's actually a deductible.
You could be paying a copay instead. That's
Yeah.
not part of their deductible.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
So if anything, Health Trust would be
The-
running it more efficiently, and I don't mean that.
No.
So instead, the town could have been giving money back over the years that they should not
Yeah,
have
correct.
been
Yeah.
required to do.
Yeah.
Then yes, that's the way it should go. It's not costing the employees anything. If anything, it was making a more honest system out of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. It's the way your plan was written. I just don't think anybody's ever understood, because you don't really get all the facts.
Yeah.
HIPAA laws, right?
So the other one is your flex spending account. Currently, the town has a flex spending where the employee pays in. So at the beginning of the year, you can opt to have like $2,500 for the year. And so much comes out of your paycheck each year, but you get that $2,500 at the beginning of the year. So by March 30th, I could have spent the whole $2,500, and then I leave in April. The town's responsible for that, the rest of those premiums. So,
It's in essence, it's a savings account for employees through a payroll deduction for something medically large that they may be planning for by saving up for. I am not a big fan of FSAs, and there is a financial liability to having an FSA. An FSA, it's called a flexible savings account, is like an optional item. It's totally separate from the health insurance plan. It's for people who do not know how to save money. This helps them save money because a certain amount is coming out of their check each week. And,
Has nothing to do with the health insurance.
well, it has to be medically related,
To use it.
but there's a liability to the
Do
town.
we put into this fund, the
No,
town itself?
no.
So this is all employees?
Yes,
unless the employee leaves, then you are responsible for the bill.
and the town has to pay the bill. And,
So they give you an upfront card.
Yep.
Okay, so say I say $25 a week for the whole year, they're gonna give me allotted $2,500. Okay, so if I use that, and I can use it January 1st, no matter if I paid in or not, so if I use all that and then I leave employment, there's no way to recoup that because I don't know how much you've spent. That's again, a HIPAA thing. I can't go in and say,
But why would you care if it was their money that's coming out of their paycheck?
because they don't no longer work here, who's gonna pay the rest of that $2,500 they've spent for the next so many
Oh, I see
weeks?
what you're saying, yeah.
So,
So to me, I don't know why the town would even entertain doing that.
I agree.
We are not in the business of saving the,
Employee.
having a savings account for employees.
right,
An house savings account, I understand,
Totally
down the
different
road,
beast.
totally different.
totally different, which is one of my ideas I have in my head for the health insurance. But we should not be taking money out of an employee's paycheck or having us take it out and put in this account. So
So I normally would have just made the decision on this, but as you know, I'm a little leery about making decisions the past year or so. So I wanted you to
now
all
I'm
be,
rolling my eyes.
I wanted you to all be on board with this, to agree with us that it should not occur in 2021. There should not be an FSA any longer, primarily because of the financial liability to the town. Because if the person leaves or defaults on it, the town has to pay the bill for their surgical procedure or whatever, teeth pulling or whatever it was.
I did a thing in the last 5 years, there has been one instance where we paid over $200 at the end.
We shouldn't be
Why
doing
are we
that.
sending them after
We
the
shouldn't be
employees?
doing that.
Because that is what an FSA is all about. An FSA is risky, and I have not recommended an FSA for years and years, and it's just risky. There are other ways for people to save towards something that they need to save towards, without putting liability against the town.
And you wouldn't know, you would know because they don't audit for another year. We just received, 8 teams, I think? So you wouldn't know that person owed this money or even utilized that card until a year or so later, and then it's too late to go after.
Now, as human resource officer, can you find other alternatives for the employees to seek out for themselves?
Yeah, they can set up a savings account at a bank and I can direct deposit that money in there every week, no problem.
That's
Quick
what
setup.
I should suggest to the employees.
Yeah.
Not just say, we're not gonna do this to the town anymore, even though it's your money, we're not gonna do this to the town because of the liability aspect of it. But you could go to the bank and set up the savings account.
Yep.
That way.
Well signed.
It's like a
As human resource officer, I just,
Yeah, except we,
Absolutely.
town gets screwed.
Yeah.
And it's quick setup. I mean, once they give me an account number.
need a motion to that effect, Madam?
No, because it's something that really could have been handled,
Yes, it could have.
without coming to the
Are
board.
you gentlemen
but-
in hand for this?
Yeah,
No problem.
All right, you got the consensus of the board.
okay,
But that's it?
That shouldn't be done.
that's it. Or do you have anything else?
Nope, that was all.
Any other business? Seeing none, gentlemen, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn at 7:34.
Second.
Motion made by Mr. Wentworth to adjourn at 7:34, second by Mr. McDonald. Discussion. Folks out there in the public and to all our employees, our families, have a wonderful and safe holiday, Thanksgiving. Be safe in your travels. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hold the board.
It's
Mr.
very
Rochelle.
nice.
Yes.
Mr. Whitman.
Yes.
Mr. McDonald.
Yes.
Mr. Wentworth, yes. Folks, we are adjourned at 7:34.